You're going to be next up on Keeping It Real.
Hello?
Yes, come on in here.
Hi there, this is Raven with the Metal Devastation Music Festival. I heard you guys wanted to chat.
Yeah, Raven. So your name's Raven.
Yes.
Welcome in, Raven. Now, you are a part of this, the Heavy Metal Devastation Music event that's going to be at the AMP
Yes.
in October, right?
Yes.
Now, I know was it 2 years? Has it been in Lexington for 2 years or just last year?
Last year was our first time putting on the festival, and yes, it was at Beach Lake in Lexington.
Okay. Why move it from Lexington to Jackson?
Well, several reasons. One reason is because I'm from Jackson, and so when we originally wanted to put on the Music Fest, we wanted to have it here. But the AMP was booked up last year by the time we started trying to call around. We definitely wanted a fall fest. And so we had to find another venue, and Beach Lake was ready and willing to let us do it, and so we had it there. One of the big things that happened was there was a pushback from a lot of local churches there in Lexington who feel like our music is evil, and, you know, it made the press because people were accusing us of trying to open a portal to hell, which is pretty funny because I don't have that kind of power. So, yeah, and basically these churches and a few politicians got together and were pushing for the lake to cancel us, which they did not. So then this caused people to continue to complain, and now the Beach Lake stage is actually tied up, and nobody can rent it at the moment because nobody knows who has the right to rent the stage. It was built via donation by the citizens of Lexington, but it was built on TVA land, which is managed by Beach Lake. So it's a whole mess, and we don't want to wait.
Yeah, I understand because, I mean, you know, venues tend to book up. I mean, you have to plan in advance for that. Why were you getting the pushback from the local churches and some politicians there? Was it strictly about the music?
Yes, it was 100% about the music. You know, we live in an area of the country that is, you know, predominantly Christian, and heavy metal has always been sort of, you know, against the grain. And while there are a lot of Christian people who enjoy heavy metal, and a lot of these musicians are Christian, the lyrics oftentimes go against organized religion, politics, you know, stuff like that. And one of the bands that we had playing, called Casket Robbery, they're out of Wisconsin, they based their music on, like, horror movies. So they had a song that talked about, you know, sort of a play on the whole Annabelle thing, about a little girl having nightmares, and then the song described her nightmare. And it got everybody in a frenzy. People somehow are not able to see that this music is no different than if you go see a horror movie or if you go to a haunted house or things like that. It's just darker imagery, and there are a lot of people that enjoy that, and we're teachers and doctors. You know, I'm a mental health therapist. We are not evil people. We just like a certain type of music.
You're not. Are you a Satan worshiper?
No, absolutely not. I'm actually not religious at all, and so to be accused of worshiping something that I don't even believe in is pretty funny. But, you know, we don't care what anybody believes. You know, we don't ask people at the gate, well, you know, are you Christian? Are you atheist? Are you Buddhist? We don't care. We just want to get together and have a good time, and that's what we did. Our festival was perfect.
How many folks did you have come out?
We had approximately 1,200 come out throughout the day. Now, I think, you know, if you were to look at any given time, we probably had 500 to 600 people on the field at a time. Some people came out and stayed the first half of the day because we saved the more, you know, the heavier music for the later time. And then when the first round of people left, you know, the other crowd came in. But we feel like that's really successful. given that we promote all underground, meaning unsigned metal bands, we feel like that was really, really awesome.
All right, so you're making the move to Jackson, which is where you originally wanted to be in the first place, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes, because the amp was booked. Okay, because one of the red flags that came up to me when I have I don't like heavy metal music. I don't like it. It's not my thing. But if that's your thing, it's great. You know, we all have different tastes in music. Is this a ticketed event? Are you going to be selling tickets?
Yes, we are.
Okay, all right, because I've got a question about that, because I don't know if something has changed, but it was my understanding that with the amp, that events at the amp were supposed to be free to the public. Now, what kind of negotiate? I don't know if you can get into that. Was that ever brought up?
The only thing that was ever brought up to me, and this, of course, whenever I spoke with the mayor about trying to find a venue, and then when I met with the AMP, they asked me the same, you know, is this a ticketed event? And I said, yes, it will be. And the only issue is that with the AMP being open like it is, that it's difficult to control who comes in and out.
Yes.
And with that knowledge, we let them know that we will be investing, you know, in barriers, and we'll have an entrance and an exit. We will have security there. We'll be giving out wristbands. Everything that we do, you know, will be to keep everybody safe and to make sure that, you know, the bands are going to get people there that are paying to see the show. Because if people don't pay to see the show, then we can't pay the bands. And so that's really, you know, the bottom line of all of that. But, you know, one thing that people don't really focus on that we did last year, you know, one of our people there raised hundreds of dollars to go to animal rescue. We ourselves collected toys for the children of wounded combat vets. I mean, this really is...
Oh.
We don't charge our vendors to set up, and they keep 100% of their profit. We're doing all of this for community building, and we had some of the coolest vendors ever out there. I think we had about 32 of them, and since then, those vendors have been doing pop-up shows all over Jackson and other areas. They networked. I mean, it's really been awesome. And, you know, any pushback that is there, I promise you, we run a professional event. And, you know, safety is 100%. We just want to get together and have fun. And there are a lot of people in this community that enjoy this kind of music. And I think it's only fair, you know, that there be something like that for, you know, for them too.
No, and I agree with you 100%. Because my philosophy on events like this is, if you don't like it, just don't go. You know, that would be my philosophy on that. But now it is my understanding that this is possibly the first ticketed event that we've ever had at the AMP. And I'm not, look, and this has nothing to do with you, nothing at all. But from what I I thought that the AMP was supposed to be a free, you know, events were going to be free, and that's one thing I want to find out is who kind of changed the rules on that, and whether it was an unwritten rule. And again, this has nothing to do with you at all. I don't want you to take that wrong, but I believe that there have been other people who have been turned down for events at the AMP because they were going to be ticketed. Have you heard any of that?
No, I'm not aware of that. Okay. But what I do know is that when I met with the AMP and they asked me that, and I told them, yes, it would be ticketed. I told them that I realized, you know, that it logistically would be, you know, I'm going to have to invest the money in the barriers to do that. Right. Then they did not stop me from working out a deal and signing a contract and paying my money to do so.
Right.
So there's that.
Okay, and that's fine. Again, that was nothing toward you guys at all. When are tickets going to go on sale, and where can folks get them?
Sure. to follow any kind of updates, we do have a Facebook page. It's the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest, and we update that with all information. We do plan to have tickets for, like, early bird go on sale this Friday, and we'll provide the link for that on our Facebook page. And tickets will be $25. That is for 12 hours of music, and it is all ages, PG-13. We do want parents to be in control, and to know that, some parents might be fine with it, others may not, and they need to research the music for themselves and make that choice. We will not be selling alcohol. The event will be, like other events there. You can bring your own cooler, bring your own chair. And like I said, we are going to be raising money for a nonprofit here in Jackson. We have not chosen the specific one yet, but we are in talks, and we'll also be collecting items for another nonprofit here as well. So.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Hey, I got this in on our text line. It says, if they will be needing crowd control materials, West End Fence offers temporary fence panels on a rental basis. So we got Ricky, who's from West End Fence. He's a friend of the show and listens quite often. So I don't know if you have anything going, but they're willing to work with you on that as well.
Wonderful.
Have you so far, and I know this is just now getting out, you're just now starting to publicize this, have you gotten any pushback from anyone here so far?
I have not gotten any pushback personally from anyone here in Jackson, but there were people who still follow our page from Lexington. For whatever reason, they hate the music, but they like to get on there and troll. And one of them did say that there are 8 Jackson churches who are in the process of putting together petitions to stop us. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, what I will say to people is that we are not violent people, and I think, it's really wrong for so many to make assumptions. Number one, that we're not Christian. There are many Christian people who come out to this festival. Number two, to assume that we're violent or evil or anything like that simply based on the music that we listen to. I think that is really unfair and wrong, and I don't believe that freedom of expression should be trampled on, especially by religious organizations, and I will say that.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, I got a text. This one, I got a text in. It says, and I want you to address this. It says, you either follow Jesus or you follow Satan. It doesn't matter if you believe that you do or not. And we're talking about music here, right?
Right. We're talking about music, and what I will say about that, again, many Christian people listen to heavy metal. Many Christian people perform heavy metal music. In fact, the genre of metal called death metal, there are numerous Christian death metal bands. And as far as, following Jesus or Satan, there are reasons that religions require faith, and that is because none of us have all of the answers. And, we all choose to follow a path that makes sense to us. We all hope we're right. But, again, none of us know. I don't follow Satan. I don't believe in Satan. I think Jesus, whether he was real or not, had amazing lessons to teach people. I think Jesus was a phenomenal human being. But I don't like people, saying that me or anyone else are devil worshippers. You don't know that about us.
I have used this analogy before, and I don't know if it's a good one or not, but it relates to me because I love country music. I love classic country music from the 70s and 80s, a little bit into the 90s, okay? Mm-hmm. But I feel like some of the same people that are against you and your genre of music wanting to have this event at the Amp, they're pretty cool with Conway Twitty's I'd Love to Lay You Down, and you've never been this far before.
Oh, yeah, well, how about Johnny Cash's Cocaine Blues, talking about shooting someone down, or Folsom Prison Blues, same thing there, or Long Black Veil. I mean, we could go on and on. Garth Brooks, The Thunder Rolls, Goodbye Earl, The Dixie Chicks. They want to say that our music is violent and bad and talks about killing and all of this, but gospel music, you know, glorifies, I mean, I don't want to get, you know, you get what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of music out there that talks about this, and that doesn't make people violent just because they listen to it.
That's right. People don't like it, so they find something wrong with it. I get you completely. Yes. I do. We got this on the text line. I mean, people. I get. Do you clean? Are you going to clean up your trash when it's over? That texter wants to know.
Absolutely, and if you follow up with Beach Lake, they will tell you not only did we not have any incidents of violence there, only one person during the entire 12 hours had to be escorted out for being a little tipsy, and when we were done, we stayed there till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and cleaned that place up spotless. Beach Lake will vouch for us on that.
And finally, they say they won't listen to heavy metal song, but they love old country songs about drinking, smoking, and cheating, says the texter.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
Raven, hey, I'm running out of time here. I got a guest, and I've got news coming up at the top of the hour, but thank you so much for calling in. I would like to get you to come in the studio one day here in the near future, if you wouldn't mind that. Would that be cool?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you, Raven. We appreciate that information. We've got that coming to the AMP in October. I'm sure we're not going to hear the last of that. It is 3:56. Belinda Hearn is here with Lifeline. We're going to hit news at the top of the hour, and then we're going to have a conversation with Belinda and talk a little bit about what is going on at Lifeline and the need for blood. That's all coming up on Keeping It Real live from Dozy Place.